Welcome back to What My Dad Does, and today I'm in another bathroom. I've taken the tiles off the wall, and as you can see I have been left with a right old mess. The tiles have come off, taking bits of finished plaster with them, leaving bits of adhesive on the wall. I need this to be a nice finished plastered wall. So how am I going to go and make this really nice, flat and smooth? Let's go take a look and find out. So first things first, the adhesive I've got on here this is ready mix adhesive. I can tell just by the colour. And this is therefore water soluble. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet these patches of adhesive. It will slightly soften it, and then I should be able to scrape it off easier. That's a good tip for you there. If you are retiling something, or you've got bits on the back of a tile, but you want to reuse the tile, for example, if you put it in water or just soak it a little bit, you should be able to scrape it off fairly easily if it's ready mix tile adhesive. If it's not, and it's the grey one, or actually you can get it in white, it's a powder mix and it's not water soluble, and that stuff goes like rock. And basically you're going to need to jump to the next step I'm going to do, which is I'm going to use Thistle Hardwall. Actually, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to PVA this so it's not as absorbent. Then I'm going to use Thistle Hardwall. I'm going to go over, and it's going to just fill all these holes, the deep bits as well, and everything. I'm going to go over the whole wall and provide myself with a nice flat surface. After that, I'll be skinning over it with multi-finish to give myself a nice shiny finish that I can paint or retile or do whatever I want with. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to soak these patches of adhesive, and then I'm going to get my chisel out and get scraping, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so that's a fairly soul-destroying job, scraping tile adhesive off a wall, but it is now done, and it is now an awful lot flatter, which is going to make my plastering a lot easier, so that's worth doing. As I said, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to PVA the wall, so I have mixed some PVA up according to the back of the tub, and quite simply I'm just going to literally PVA the whole thing. The reason I'm going to do this is because Thistle Hardwall is it dries very quick essentially when you put it on, and because I'm putting it in here on old plaster and stuff, it's going to dry even quicker, and I don't want it drying too quick because actually I'm putting it on very thin. In fact, you probably shouldn't put it on this thin. I think it's supposed to be like a 10mm thickness, which is what you would normally do if you're doing the whole wall or infilling. But with something like this, bits are going to be definitely 10mm, maybe more. This is definitely going to be a lot more. But other bits are, I don't know, what is that, 4mm, something like that. So it's probably thinner than it should be used. But I've done it a number of times, and you do get a nice flat surface. I don't want to go over the whole wall, because when I come somewhere like this and I've got the window, I want to come up to my original bead. I don't want to rebead it particularly. I don't want to go to the extent here of redoing the entire walls. What I'm doing is patching essentially and then skimming over. So I'm going to PVA this, and then I'm going to patch all these bits and pieces, but I'll come back once I've mixed up the Thistle Hardwall so you can see how thick or thin I've got it, and we'll get travelling some on. Okay, so that's all mixed up. So this is actually it's wetter than I would probably normally do it if I'm filling in a hole at sort of 15mm depth all the way across or something, but because I'm doing it so thin, I want it a little bit wetter. And you know, that is difficult to describe to you how thick that is. As I say, you can do it drier. I probably wouldn't do it any wetter, but it is just falling off the trowel and sticking a little bit. But in general, we want it a bit wetter just so you can smooth it over these areas. And all I'm going to do literally is just infill and scrape off. It's as simple as that. That is what I'm going to do, but you can't do that with finished plaster because the finished plaster will shrink back quite a bit and you won't get a nice smooth surface, and that will dry slower than this, and therefore when you're troweling it up it's going to slightly bump and stuff like that. So you want to hardwall it first like this, just going over the patches, slightly deeper one there, thinner one here, and just scrape it off between the other side of the wall so you know it's nice and flat. If you can't take your trowel between 2 points so you know it's flat, then you're going to need to use straight edge. So something like this, doesn't have to be one like that, but something basically straight metal, not a level essentially, it's got a flat sort of pointed end on it that you can literally put on the wall and scrape it off. I have done another video about Thistle Hardwall where I use that technique, and essentially you just put it on thicker than you need it, it's sticking out, and then you use this to take it off between 2 points, and then you get a nice flat surface between those 2 points. Most of this I don't actually need that for, they're just tiny patches, and I'll be able to go between those 2 points with my trowel. So I'm going to I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get all these patches done and patched in, and then we'll come back and we'll look at skin plastering. Right, actually whilst just putting that hard wall on there, I did put my straight edge on it and realised that actually the wall dipped slightly, and I've got tiles that are almost 1 metre long on this wall. So I want it to be really flat. So I was using it, and then I thought, actually, it's a really important technique. So I'm going to show you guys again. I'm going to show you on here. Again, I don't need to actually use it here because my trowel will go between 2 points, but you'll get the drift of it. All you do really is just put it on so that it's too thick. Okay? I'm plastering backwards here. So that is not a normal way to plaster, but you would just normally put it on too thick. So I put it on too thick. I know that's sticking out. I know it's too high. Okay. And then simply, you might want to wet your straight edge first, but basically you're just dragging it between 2 points. And you can see it's taking it off to make it completely flat between those 2 points. So when I scrape all that off, that is now totally flat between these 2 points, and that will work over an area as long as you're straight edge. So again, if you've got a great big hole, let's get rid of that before it falls off. If you've got a great big hole that you need to fill and it's much longer than your trowel, so it's that big, that's what I would do. I would put it all in, much thicker than I know it's needed, and then literally take it all off. And then I know that has been left between those 2 points totally flat. You can do it both ways as well, obviously. So yeah, so that's a very handy technique. As I see here, I realised actually the wall dipped in. Although my patches were up here, I've actually ended up rendering right down to here and up there, and then dragging that straight edge across. So I now know that is completely flat. When I skim over it, it'll be a really nice flat wall. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. Okay, so I'm almost done here. I'm just filling in the deeper bits now. I've got a chase over there to fill, and obviously this is an old shaver socket back box. So I don't know how deep that is. I think they're 65mm. But I want to show you the best thing about Hardwall. I've just filled this one in, and if I show you by filling this one, and it's so deep you've got to throw it in basically. But rather than do it in different stages, you can do that in literally one stage, and as you see, it's barely bowing out. If I'd done that in render, which is what I used to do when I started many years ago, the render would now be too heavy and it would be sitting back and it would be pulling off the top there, and it would basically be falling out the hole. Obviously you can use bonding. I always found bonding cracked a lot, but this stuff here is absolutely brilliant. I say rather than have to do multiple layers or something like that, what I'll do is just make sure that's fully pushed in, scrape it off, leave it alone, and then I'll come back when it's almost dry, and I'll probably just trowel it up a little bit. But that is super thick, it's not falling out, and here we've got super thin, and it's also done the job there. Very versatile product, superb. Anyway, what you can see is I've basically done. My next stage is I'm going to leave it until this is dry. Oh, this bit almost is actually. This bit's not bad. What I like to do now is use a brush and just brush a little bit of water over it, and then I'll go over it with my trowel, and you get a very smooth finish. It just brings the fines to the surface and just brings a real smooth finish to that. If you don't do that, these a little bit around the edges here, where it's just sort of the end of it, and they're just sort of flaking off a bit. When you do your skim coat of plaster over the top, these little bits end up in your skim coat, and they're really frustrating. You just have loads of little bits of grit in it. So just make sure that once it's basically dry, you just brush it over, go over it with your trowel, and you will find that brings up a real nice shine, a real nice sort of finish to it that you can then go over with your multi-finish. So I'm just going to finish off a couple of little bits, and then I'm going to make sure that's dry enough, and then I'll do that with the water. Okay, so this has now dried out enough that I can put water on it, and as you can see, it's not smearing that because it's dried enough, okay, which is exactly what I want. I'm not going to do this bit because I've only just filled that bit in, that's the deep bit. The rest of it, just go over, and what it's doing, it's just wetting the surface. The bit underneath is dried out quite nicely and is quite happily sitting there whilst I play around with the surface bit. And then it just means that when I go over it with my trowel, hopefully you can see that leaves a nice smooth surface, which is much nicer for me to put my multi-finish on than when it's like that and it's sort of raw. And that's essentially it. It's now a nice smooth surface for me to do my multi-finish. So I'll let this dry. Then I'll come back and put that over. I'll probably PVA it first and then put my multi-finish over. I'm not going to show you how to do that because I've got other videos on my channel explaining how to do that in detail. So I'll probably cut forward until this is a nice finished surface so you can see that I'm not lying to you, and that this is a good way to do it to end up with a nice, lovely wall. So let's jump forward to that and take a look at the finished article. And so as you can see, it's worked out pretty nice. Did this a couple of days ago. Still obviously drying, but that's a really good, nice finished plaster surface. You could paint that, no problem at all. I'm actually tiling that, but the rest of it is half tile, which is what I've done in the whole room. Same thing as what I did here with the hardwall first, filling over all the holes and then skimming over. So anyway, I hope that's given you a few tips on how to repair your walls, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.